Welcome to Yeshiva Daf Shir sponsor Nishmat Sam Yakshon Lab Yechezkel. We're holding in Shavuos Daf Mem. Yesterday we reached down in Mud Aleph, and the Gemara when it says Toshma, right next to the Oiz base of the Mishpat. Tomorrow in the mirror is trying to bring you a raya. Actually, it's the middle of a set. It's almost the middle of a sugya. We should maybe go 2-3 lines down. But just to finish the sugya, the Gemara brought a discussion between Rav and Shmuel. Do we say that when the Mishnah talks about coins, is it talking about the value of the coins, or is it talking about the coin itself? The real issue starts with machlekes. What's the machlekes? Machlekes is, do you have to deny shtei kesef? The din is, you have to deny the mikzas. When the mikzas, Reuven came to Shimon, says you owe me money. Shimon denies part of it. How much does he have to deny? According to Shmuel, Reuven has to claim shtei kesef. Shmuel can deny anything he wants as long as more than a pruto. Rav holds no, he has to deny shtei kesef. So the guy has to charge shtei kesef plus a pruto. And he says, I owe me a pruto, so he's denying shtei kesef. And now you're not chayav Shmuel. So the Gemara asked the question. The Mishnah says that a person came and said, you owe me silver coins. He said, no, I owe you copper coins. So isn't that? And he says, you putter. Why you putter? What the mix says? You told me I owe you $100. I told you only $20. So what do you make sense? So according to Shmuel, you have to say, we talk about the actual coins. He's not talking about the value. He's talking about I want silver coins. And he says, no, I owe you copper coins. So that's why you're not chayav. But if it would be the same coins, you're chayav. Rav says, no, we talk about shav. We talk about the worth, the value. So one brings another right. It says like this: Toshma, dinar zov libiotro. I have a gold coin. He's adding the word zov. So din is ein l'chabiyodi dinar kesef, and he says no, you have only a silver coin. Chayav. Then he's chayav. Why? Tamer domli zav zov astoma shove kormulei. So according to our girsa, it's very difficult to understand the Gemara because according to Rav, shav will be the same thing. He says you owe me gold. He says no, I owe you silver. Gold means the value of 100. Silver means the value of 20. It's what it makes us. Here, zov and silver also means very similar. What does it mean? As Rashi says, that we talk about matbeah, like we saw before in the end of it, when we finished the shir yesterday. Matbeah means a coin, a currency. So zov means I'm asking you for a dollar currency. And he says I have a lower dollar currency. So according to our girsa, the Gemara is really saying, hey, it's not really it's just a diuk. If he said zov, we're talking about currency. Not zov, we're talking about a shovet. The din won't change between the two; it'll be the same. But there's a girsa of Rabbeinu Hananel that says that our Gemara says zov potter, because zov means gold, and he said silver, so he's potter. Mash, if I didn't say gold and silver, if I just said a coin, I'm talking about a worth. That's like Rav, not like Shmuel. He said, well, no, whenever you say gold, I mean gold, which really means that without it you say it's shavet, but I mean gold, and according to the Girsa of Chilal, that makes it much more sense that according to Shmuel, we talk about gold. That's what our Mishnah said. Once someone said gold, if he admitted silver is considered to be, he did not answer me at time. Says the Gemara. So that really should have got to here because this is really the end of the discussion before. But the Gemara brings a raya to Rav that you have to deny, you have to kafir 2 kesef. So one comes to the room, goes to Shiva, says, you owe me a seller. No, I owe you seller minus 2 kesef. Chayav. Choser meo pater. But if he says, I owe you, but I don't, what I'm denying is not 2 kesef, it's only 1 more pater. You see, you have to deny shtei kesef. That's a right to Rav. This whole discussion that we have is you have a lender, you have a borrower. The lender says you owe me, the borrower says I don't. But if you talk about Eid Echad, we know usually throughout Shas, what does it do in Eid Echad? Eid Echad is Mechayav Shua. Very similar to a Tain and a Kvira. So if you have Tain as a Malv, and you have a Ado of Eid Echad, I feel a Tain or a Pruto Chayav. Even though we just said a Pruto. It says that 1/8 cannot come and do Oven Chatos only for Shavuot. Chalav and Chatos they don't come Shavuot. So So the idea is that whatever 2 eidim do, 1 8 does. If 2 eidim are mechayev moment, so 1 8 is mechayev shvul. So therefore, 2 eidim can mechayev even less than shtei kesef. Yes, 2 eidim can say you chayev anything which is more than a pruto. So 8 is also mechayev shvul even less than a pruto. Now there is, just to mention over here. Okay. Yeah, I'm say says the Gemara. This is Gemara mentioned already previous stuff. Reuben comes to Shimon and says, you owe me wheat and barley. He said, I do owe you barley, I don't owe you wheat. So we can look at it 2 different ways. These are the 2 opinions in the Gemara. One way is to say, this is one time. I say you owe me wheat and barley, it's both together. You admit barley, now wheat. You might admit tiny, you're admitting partial. Or you could say no. He's claiming wheat and barley is 2 different claims. You owe me wheat, you owe me barley. The barley admits, the wheat doesn't. So there's no Shmuel over here. So says the Gemara, Shmuel holds, you chayav. Yechezkel agrees with you. Says the Gemara, Mechal the Poligal Rish Lakish. Mash over here, Rish Lakish argues. Because Rabbi Yechezkel and Rish Lakish always argue in Shas. He says, you should know that Rabbi Yechezkel agrees with you. Rabbi Yechezkel agrees with you. But now Rish Lakish. Ikadamre, Misha, Veshoy, Levishotikle, Ikadam, Misha, Veshot, Levishosik. Meaning, it's like, no, not necessarily. It could be Rish Lakish that didn't disagree with Rabbi Yechezkel. Hi, so why is he saying Rabbi Yechezkel? Because Rish Lakish didn't answer him. Why Rish Lakish didn't answer him? 2 explanations. Either because he was waiting, he was pausing. Rashi says that when Rabbi Yechezkel said something, Rish Lakish always used to be quiet. Rish Lakish never answered. Rish Lakish was a Talmud of Rabbi Yechezkel. So Rabbi Yechezkel said something, never answered right away. He stayed a little bit, paused, let everybody think about it, and then said something. That's what happened over here. Rabbi Yechezkel said something. Rish Lakish did not answer, and then the one who's quoting him, Rabbi Yechezkel did not hear Rish Lakish's response. Or Rish Lakish was drinking water, and Mishtav Shatley was drinking. The Shatley, and that's why he was quiet, did not answer. Rashi says that Mishtav Shatley, Rish Lakish Mayo Visman is drinking water. Why water? So here the Flesh brings something very interesting. It says when a person drinks water, you can see his mouth, it's not covered. He should move, the Talmud has to move his face away from his Rebbe. It's because do we do that or not? But right over here, that's where Rish Lakish did not answer. Because his face was tilted to the other side because he was drinking water. So bring you a right. That what? If you turn chitim and soyim, and one of them, it's called moedim miktsas. Tar no chitim. He claimed wheat. And he admitted soyim. So here we're talking about something which is completely 2 different things. Reuben goes to Shimon and says, you owe me wheat. He says, wheat? I don't know, you wheat or you barley. He never claimed wheat. So then the din is, that's what Mishnah says, that is potter. Potter. Is that's tough because he said chitim and he answered soyim. Hachitim is soyim v'chad mehem. Mashma if he did claim both chayov. So right, which one said Sigma loy. Who did that filu chitim v'soyim nai potter? Even when he claimed chitim soyim and he admitted one of them is potter. I want to tell you how Gamliel is such a big chiddush. Even though Reuben claimed wheat and Shimon answered barley, he's still chayav. It's considered to be a moedim mitzvahs. Now, one interesting discussion here on Taisus, and I'm going to go into just to mention this 2 opinions of Taisus, big in here in the Achronim, is what happens. Reuben comes to Shimon and says, "You owe me wheat," and Shimon answers barley. Does Shimon owe the barley or not? On one hand, you could say no, he doesn't owe anything. Why? Because when Reuben said, "You owe me wheat," he's basically admitting you don't owe me barley. You owe me only wheat, not barley. It's like one ksuvas. And B'makama too. And B'makama. So you put me sorry too. Or you say no, you admit sorry, you have to be sorry. So the discussion in Taisus, one way the Achronim say, just a very easy way to say it, is when you say someone is claiming wheat, is he claiming actual wheat or is he claiming the value of the wheat? If he's claiming actual wheat, he said wheat, he said barley, 2 different things. But he's claiming the value, the wheat is worth 50, the barley is worth 30. Okay, so he's giving me 30. Talk about a value.
What is the difference when when someone says only 100 and says only 50?
Then you're Shechai. But that will be the second case. In other words, that will be the second opinion. The first opinion say, no, wheat and barley are two different things. Okay? Now, the problem with this answer is, why is not more mixas? If you heard so. So you see, the clear is not a value, but maybe it's translated value. It's like a second stage value.
The second one you said it's based on value.
I know, but the problem is, if it is based on value, it should be chayav b'shvua. So you see, it's not pure value. It just translates the value. Meaning, you say wheat, I say bar, so I'm not chayav b'shvua. But I have to give you at least the bar, because at least that I gave you admission. Okay, it's so complicated. Says the Gemara, Toshma, Tono Kelim Kakurs. So that was the end of the Mishnah. He claimed Kelim Kakurs. So if you remember, just to repeat, see it outside before we see it inside, there's no Shavuos on Karka. So a person says you owe me Kelim and Karka, and he admitted Kelim, or he admitted Karka, where you have to use the Karka to be Moedim Mikzas. By Karka, you don't have a Shavuos. So that's what's out. The only case that I say is different if he says you owe me $50 worth of vessels and $50 worth of a land. It says land, they don't owe you at all. And the vessels I owe 25. So he has to do a Shavuos for the vessels because he's more doing Mikzas. Once you do a Shavuos for the vessels, you do a Shavuos for Karka as well. That's called.
Why is there no Shavuos on the land?
It's Yechezkel. It's a puzzle.
But the land is, if you owe land, it's
Yechezkel. You're right. There's not a svar. It's not a logical thing. The Torah says there's no Shavuos by Karka. Says the Gemara. So now we're quoting the Mishnah. Tana Kalim Vikakoris. He asked for vessels and land. Hoida Vikalim, Yadmin Kalim Vikakoris, he denied Karka. Or the opposite. Vikakoris Vikakoris, he denied the land and he denied Kalim. Potter. Why? Because Karka is involved over here. One of the items Karka does not work. Same one that Ben would base. Hoida Vimixas Kakoris, Potter. Vimixas Kalim, Chayiv. If you admit part of the Karka, again, in Karka there's no shul. But by Kalim, you Chayiv a shvua on the Kalim. Time of the Kelim Karka the Karka Labashwim. Now we're doing a deal. Davka Kelim Karka, you can do Shur Karka, that's why there's no Shur here. Ha Kelim, the Kelim doing the Kelim Karka is Chayov. Mashwa, if it would not be a Kli and Karka, it would be Kli and Kli, which would be two different types of Kli, you would be Chayav a Shur. So more what in the field Kelim, you Kelim Nine Potter. Hadik Tani Kelim Karka is Kamashwalan, what's a Kelim Karka? The Chioide mix is Kelim Chayav of Karka is. A Chiddush is, that when you say you admit Kalim, you have in the land as well. My Kamashon Zoykekim. The Chiddush is you do what's called Gilgul Shua. Gilgul Shua is once you do a Shua on the vessels, I do a Shua on the Karka as well. Because once I have one Shua, I do another Shua as well. So well, why are you telling me that? Tanina, we already have a Mishnah this way. The Gemara in Kiddushin. So you get the Nechaz Sheshel Macharis, the Shova Alem. You do a Zoykekim, which was a Gilgul. Ha'ikar. The main place to say it is over here in Masechet Shavuos. We talk about Shavuos. We spoke about other things that have to do with Karka and Metalplim, so we mentioned that as well. So that was Shita number one, the word shows being a rias. This was regarding what? The Shita Shmuel, if a person claims wheat and barley and he admits one of them, you have Shmuel. Now the more brings the flip side. He claimed wheat and barley. He admitted one, Patur. It says the Gemara, says Potter. Says Potter. That's what he says in the name of Rabbi Yochanan. You're Potter. So in the previous case, Rabbi Yitzchak told Shmuel, Yishakayach. Rabbi Yochanan said the same thing. So you see, Rabbi Yochanan said that you are Chayav Shvua. Amurai Ninu Alibid Rabbi Yochanan. There's two different Amurayim according to Rabbi Yochanan, two different opinions of what Rabbi Yochanan holds. Now what is the one going to do? We do main test throughout Shas. Now that we brought the opposite opinion, we're bringing the rice that we just mentioned before, ask questions over here, or rice over here, depends on the case. Exact same thing, just the opposite. Toshua, right number one. Wheat, and he claims wheat, he admits barley, potter. Because he claimed two different things. But if he claimed both, it's Chayov. Question on this Rabbi Yochanan, really could be a potter, and the same answer said before. The reason we say it is just to show you how Gamliel says even if he claimed wheat and he admitted barley, is still Toshma Tana Kalim Mikakorts. He claimed vessels and karka. They said what we said before. Avoid the kalim, the kalim, and he either admitted a karka or denied karka, but the karka is involved. Potter. How you mix karka potter? Why? Because on land you have no shul. It says kalim chayiv. Time with the kalim the karka because it's the karka. The karka of a shul you can't do a shul on a karka. Ha kalim the kalim doing the kalim karka. But it's kalim the kalim like kalim karka is chayiv. So rayo that now look at the brecha. What did if you look at kalim potter? Like kavash ran the hoy to mix kalim chayiv after the karka. The chiddush is like we said before for gilgul shul. Once you do a shul on the vessels, you do shul on the karka as well. My kavash what's chiddush? Zaykakim. They do gilgul. Taninu, we already have a mishnah kiddushin. And just repetition we said before. So he gives the kain shesh lemacharas tishova aleim. Hayiko hayagagroin nas. So that was the main mishnahs by us because that's Masech Shavuos. And there we have it only because we already mentioned metal karka, so we mentioned that as well. Says the Gemara, it means a price. He claimed an ox. He answered him, I admit a sheep. Or vice versa. Potter. Why? He asked one thing, he admits something else. But he claimed an ox and a sheep. And he admitted one of them, Chayov, clearly like Shmuel, where I claimed two different items and admitted one, you're Chayov, like wheat and barley. That's the shit of Gamliel. Gamliel, we said, according to Gamliel, even if you claim wheat and he admits barley, you're Chayov. So, Kosh, can we claim both? Here on Gamliel, feel the Reishanami. So, according to Gamliel, even when he claims ox and he admits sheep, he should be Chayov. The sheet of Admon that we saw in the end of our mission. Admon, the end of the mission said that a person claims oil, he's basically saying, you owe me oil and its barrels. So the guys say, admit barrels, it's called mitzvah time. So even though it's considered to be claiming two different things, oil and barrels, it admits one you chayim, so it's Admon. Don't think it's only a tchiyah b'alma. Don't be a rabbi because you may say it's Admon. It's clearly Rabbi Yochanan used to say in this Mishnah, how many Admoni? This brayso is Admon. Because Admon holds two different items you claim, but not a right to Rabbanan holds.
Yeah, maybe Admon is just by Shemin. For Shemin you can't have, it has to be in something.
Maybe, but the Gemara holds not. You're right, could be. Now another case. Person came and says, you owe me wheat. And the guy, before the guy was able to finish the sentence, said, I owe you barley. And we learned if someone says you owe me wheat and he says the person admits barley, he's potter. But here he rushed to say it. What's it in? If he's doing it because he knows the guy's about to charge him wheat and barley. So before he ends the sentence, he says, oh, barley. He's tricking him. It's Ma'arim, so he's chayav. We don't use that as a.
How do you know if the guy's lying?
Good question. That's a good question.
An assumption.
Yeah, you make an assumption based on how you figure out the person. Even if he really means it, but. He claimed two different needles. At the point over here, the needles are very low in value. And he had one, chayav. Why? I is less, it's very low value. That's what it says, kelim or kesef. Kesef is double chashuv. Kelim, any two kelim are chayav. He came and says, you owe me vessels and you owe me money. He admitted the kelim. But the pruto he denied. But why? So we'll see in a moment why. But the opposite, he admitted the money covered b'kelim chayav. Chad the karav, chad the kishmol. One point is like Rav, one is like Shmuel. What is it? Chad the karav doma kfiras tainos shtei kesef. You need to deny shtei kesef. So what he claims and says, you owe me kelim and you owe me pruto. If he denied the pruto, he's denying a very small amount. You have to deny shtei kesef, that's why he's pruto. Only when he claimed pruto and he denied the kelim, so then that's shtei kesef.
It's not kelim among. It's not the kelim.
Shtei kesef. Chad the kishmol doma aton nechitim v'soyim v'adu v'chad v'chayim. The second part, what does he say? If he denied the kelim, so he's chayav. One second, it's two different things. He claimed kelim and he claimed pruto. He admitted one of them, not the other one. So the chura is like claiming wheat and barley and admitted one of them. That's like Shmuel. So this sentence we said over here, what is he asking? That the Rishonim, the Rishonim learned from this is the Psak Halacha. That in order to be Chai Shua, you have to deny Shtei Kesef. But when a person claims two different items, and he admits one, it's considered to be Miktsataino, then that you're Chai of a Shua. So we'll stop here in the two dots and continue from here tomorrow, Be'ez Hashem, at the same, maybe we'll do a little bit earlier. You'll call for around 7:30ish. We'll confirm tomorrow.